Hello everyone, welcome back to Oriental Empires. My name is Incoherence, and this is part 4 of our closed beta Han campaign. Last episode when we left off, we were just kind of scouting around with our militia units, trying to find places to found cities because, as I said, we want to capture and, well, not really capture, but claim as much land as possible while it's open like this. It's going to be a couple turns until we can recruit some new settlers, so we'll just have to hang tight. I think... Can we recruit in... No, we still can't recruit any settlers in Yanxi, but we can recruit nobles, interestingly enough. Also, on the books, as an interesting event, we have a new heir in our capital, Irlitau, by the name of Guo Qin. This man has been nominated as your leader's heir. Okay. Should Sushi die, Guo Qin, is it Guo Qin? Gao Qin? Guo Qin. He will be our new leader. So he can hold down the fort in the capital, appeasing the nobles and the peasants. Do we get a bonus for... No, there's no happiness in the nobles' lives. The only thing they can say is that their life sucks. Not a single good thing going for those guys. I suppose we don't even have a happiness effect for a governor in the peasant category either. I wonder if it's going to take a turn for them to realize that they have a new governor, perhaps. I don't know. We've built a new farm in Yangcai in the north. We have a new farm in Irlitau. Let's build yet another to the east. There we go. So, how many farms do we have? We currently have 9 tiles of farmland. And we have 17 workers. So we are just 1 worker shy of being at max labor capacity as far as agriculture goes. 2 workers per tile is good. You will fully utilize those tiles. Anyway, that's just a small tangent. That's not really important. We should continue to build farms in Yangcai as well. We have to wait for Yangcai to grow. You cannot construct more farms than you have population, so we have to give the the population some time to bang. Basically, we've just been working them to the bone right now, and that just means that they've had no time to bear children, which is quite a sad prospect when you think about it. We want those children. We want to found more cities, right? We want people to move into those cities. So, like I said, we'll have to give them a small vacation. Have you guys ever seen? It's like some form of ad campaign from this travel agency in Denmark. Basically, they encourage people to take vacations and bang, and they call it like the Do It for Denmark campaign. The idea is, or Do It for Mom or something like that. The idea is the social net in Denmark is coming under strain because birth rates have fallen and there's more and more old people. They don't want to turn into Japan, I suppose. Japan... is kind of in a situation now where birth rates have fallen so far that the population is just aging more and more, and there's a worry that the young working population will not be able to support the old fogies, which is really sad, actually. But not really important to the situation at hand. We are scouting far and wide for places to found cities. We've hit another river. I don't really want to cross that river if possible. That could become a natural border if we do it correctly. So we will just follow the river and hope it leads to something nice. Okay, let's see. How is our happiness? Labor service. We're starting to get some dissatisfaction. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Has Yangcai grown? No, it has not. It has not. How about Yanxi? I'm really wondering what is the... I think maybe 10 population is the threshold for the settlers. I'm not sure. 3 turns? Okay, we can do that. So it is 2 turns until we get to meet another fine hunter out in the wilderness, who is perhaps crazy because he's been outside for so long. Oh my goodness. Our friendly neighbors, the Shang, have been raided, perhaps by... the White D. I'm not so sure. My god, if you're worried about the White D, you really need to watch out for the Black D, if you know what I'm saying. Alright, we're going to end the turn here and move on a little bit more. ever so slightly, turn after turn, we're going to reveal this map. I almost wish that this map, you know, like in Shogun 2, how the Fog of War is displayed as like a parchment map? I thought that was really, really cool, and I think maybe they should look into spicing up the Fog of War a little bit, because right now it's quite boring. It's just an endless sea of depressing nothingness. It's like a void. And if you were to stare into it for too long, you might, in fact, just lose your mind. Look, another encounter. This is a famous warrior and leader of men. Maybe he can be persuaded to join us, so I suppose that's a general. In my campaign as the Zhao, I didn't really see too many events, encounters, unfortunately. Well, if I pronounce it as Zhao, would this be Young Chai? Young Jai? It must be Young Chai, I'm going to say. Alright, progress. Decorated ceramics. So this is actually pretty good for us. The pottery workshop is a wonderful building, and I'll tell you about it in just a moment. First of all, we're going to research jade, well, silk weaver. We haven't found any jade yet, so it's kind of useless to us at the moment. We've built another farm, and I'm pretty sure we have a few queued. Okay, yeah. Yep. Yeah, so I was saying about the ceramic workshop. This is actually a good building because... Oh. Looks to me like we crashed, boys. Alright, well, I'll be back in just a second. And we'll talk all about pottery workshops. I'll tell you about the kilns. I'll tell you about the clay itself. Not to mention the washes they use to glaze pottery and whatnot. We'll talk all about it when I come back in just a few moments. Okay, where were we? We were talking about pottery and ceramics. Okay, so the ceramics workshop is an interesting building because it is one of the industry buildings that you can build that don't have any upkeep. You can build a silk workshop, but it actually costs quite a bit. I think it's 150 gold coins per turn in upkeep. It obviously increases trade, and it's worth quite a lot as a trade item. You just have to be careful that it's actually worth building. If you don't increase your trade by 150 gold coins per turn, you're going to be in the negative, which is not true for a pottery workshop because it is not. There's no upkeep, so we're going to build it right away, as it will be a boon. And you know what? We could probably build this boyer when the time comes as well. It's going to cost us a little bit, but if we keep an eye on the expenses here, the garrison is quite expensive because we have some noble axemen and the bazaar. We're going to have to wait for the income to increase a little bit. Although, having said that, we do have quite a huge per turn income. I just like to, as a rule of thumb, make sure that my buildings in each city don't exceed the income. But I mean, if the building is particularly worthwhile, then I suppose we'll get it. Anyway, we're going to end the turn here, and we should finally have some settlers, I hope. And I'm really wondering where we ought to put it. I almost want to put it across the river from Ao or Ao or whatever this is. Just immediately across the river, just to piss those guys off, like right here. That way we could utilize the rhinos. That would be 1, 2, 3 tiles. That would actually border Young Jai. The only thing is... Or should we put it to the north, and that way we can utilize both of these patches of rhinos? Well, let's see. If we put it one tile to the north... Man, we actually have to put it here, maybe? If we were to put it here, we would utilize that fish tile as well as that rhino tile, so maybe that's something we ought to look at. But then I wouldn't be able to use that tile. So I don't know, we'll have to put a city here or here to use that tile. The thing is, there's these little pockets between the forests, which would be great for cities. The only thing is, when you bunch your cities close together like that, they actually have less room to grow, which isn't such a big deal, I suppose, as long as you grab the land. It's kind of an interesting trade-off. Like I said, if you put your cities too close together, they won't be able to grow as large, but at the same time, you will be able to more efficiently claim land, I would think, and resources. So, I don't know. We'll have to think about it some more as time goes on. Okay, we don't need to set the facing. Thanks for asking. We have an encounter here. We have another hunter. Oh my god. Look at this fucking guy. I'm sorry, my lord, but I have no information that you do not know already. What an asshole. How can we get rid of that encounter? We can't. Decline. Okay, so that encounter is just going to be there forever, I suppose. All right. If you want it to be like that, it can be like that. What's this one here? A particularly beautiful girl. Okay, well, let's get our faction leader, Sushi, to ask about this this great warrior. Perhaps he can become a new general. That would be nice. Oh, look at that. We've researched yin and yang. Hot and cold, life and death, fire and water. That is wonderful. Let us now research maybe shamanism. Sure, that will increase culture. Yin and yang increase culture as well. Okay, we've now built a bazaar in Yanxi, which is lovely because now we have a bit of trade going from Yanxi to our capital and from our capital to Yanxi, not to mention between Yongchai as well as Yanxi. So we're getting this little network going, which is not bad. We're going to need some... oh my fucking god, we finally have some settlers. I think the threshold is definitely 10 population. I still have no idea how to gauge the growth rate. Like, what is that? What does this correspond to? 11% of a unit of population? I'm not sure. It's still unclear. They really need to... For all I know... Actually, let's take a look. Can we find population in here? Towns, perhaps? Building construction, land improvement, food production. Perhaps there is no. Settlement basics. Okay, let's see. No, there's no information here about what this number means. All I know is that a positive number is good. So we'll let's not ask any questions. We'll recruit this guy. I really want to grab this territory here. It is going to be... That's going to overextend us a little bit, I think, actually. Okay, we will recruit this civilian at the north gate so that he can head north. Recruiting civilians as settlers actually costs 2 population, which is probably why that threshold is in place. For example, if I was going to... Yeah, no, it's definitely 10. 10 as your threshold for settlers costs 2 population to found a city. I think we ought to... Yeah, I think we'll bite the bullet and we'll just put a city here so that we can contest the area so the Shang don't cross and try to colonize here. Although, would it be better to settle in the north first and fill in the gaps later? I really want to claim that unit of, or rather that tile of fish so the Shang don't get it. Basically, unless the tile is within your borders, you can be the only nation bordering that tile. Otherwise, it's contested, I think, until it's finally claimed. So, for example, if the Shang had a border to the left of this tile of rhinos, neither of us would gain the benefit of the rhinos, I don't think, until one of us claimed that tile. And the way you claim tiles is actually, as far as I can tell, you just build farms on it, and your borders will expand to accommodate. We can see here, just south of Owl, they've built 1 tile of farms. Same with Yin. They've built some farms out here, and as a result, their borders have stretched. Man, Yin is in such a nice place. This is such a nice place to have cities. It's beautiful. So much open plains to farm. The only issue with settling to the north here is that we can't farm marshes until we actually research the technology to drain marshes, which is quite a ways away. So this city will probably be quite slow in its growth, but that's just okay. We just want to contest the area and guard the river crossing, because you can't actually cross the river here too. So that's why I want a city in the north. We'll continue scouting north just to make sure that we are secure there. And I think, if we're able, do we have a unit in our garrison already? I imagine we do. No, it's just the nobles. Okay, well, we'll recruit a new unit of spears at the west gate. There we go, some light spearmen because they're dirt cheap. And they will scout to the west. I think we'll follow this big ass river to the west because I think this is a very nice natural border. And not only that, it's a great place to settle by because we can build docks. You see this? I've never known this word. Is it K or Quay? I'm going to assume it's Quay. But basically, we can decide to build a port on any one of these tiles. And once we build a quay, we can actually upgrade it further and further. And eventually, we're going to be able to trade over huge distances. For example, if we were to build this, we will be able to trade over 18 hexes, or rather within 18 hexes with this thing. It will also multiply trade by 3, so it's actually quite good. So if we can get some trade going via the river, that would be ideal. And we are 1 turn away from a settler in our capital, who I would love to have so that we can finally... well, not finally. It's not like we've been sitting on our asses for 3 turns waiting for settlers. We've been doing other stuff. We have, however, been waiting on our ass outside of Yangchai just to build some more farms, which we have initiated. Anyway, I think we've done enough here as well. I'm not exactly sure how long this episode is now because we had that crash. I'm going to say it's roughly 20 minutes, which is just fine with me. Anyway, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, be sure to leave a like, be sure to leave a comment. The more feedback, the more likely there will be more of this game in the future. And yeah, I suppose if you want to see more of it, just stick around. I'm going to be uploading it as much as possible. If you want to keep in touch, check me out on Twitter, basically. And as always, my name is Incoherence. This has been Oriental Empires as the Han. You guys are fucking awesome. I will see you all later.